Roy Chiengjok, Member SPLM. Honorable Peter Pok Yangpon, Member SPLM. Honorable Gatquoth Pok War, Member SPLM. Honorable John Dor Goni Kerker, Member SPLM. Honorable Ganun Nyer Gatluak, Member SOA. Issued under my hand and seal of the Republic of South Sudan in Juba, this 6th day of the month of November in the year 2024. Signed, Salva Kiir Mayardit, President, Republic of South Sudan, Juba. Republican Decree number 288 for the year 2024. Appointment of members of Parliament to Unity State Legislative Assembly. The decree, it reads, pursuant to the provisions of Article 106A 2A of the Transitional Constitution of the Republic of South Sudan 2011 as amended, I, Salva Kiir Mayardit, President of the Republic of South Sudan, do hereby appoint members of Parliament to Unity State Legislative Assembly as hereunder. Honorable Drop Mawil Chan, Member SPLM. Honorable Stephen Bolyar Page, Member SPLM. Honorable Christine Kubai Kom, Member SPLM. Honorable Angelina Nyekwoth Jal, Member SPLM. Honorable Diu Ruach Nyot, Member SPLM. Honorable Mary Yor Lual Yor, Member SPLM. Honorable Mawum Kwol Gatluak, Member SPLM. Honorable Roy Lang Patwot Gatkek, Member SOA. Issued under my hand and seal of the Republic of South Sudan in Juba, this 6th day of the month of November in the year 2024. Signed, Salva Kiir Mayardit, President, Republic of South Sudan, Juba.
Moving to the State House, where a significant development in the Tumaini initiative unfolds, President Salva Kiir Mayardit and Kenya's President William Samoei Ruto engaged in a consultative discussion on the ongoing progress of the Tumaini Peace Initiative aimed at bringing lasting peace to South Sudan. During the meeting, President Ruto provided President Kiir with a detailed update on the dialogue between South Sudan's government and holdout opposition groups, which has been ongoing in Nairobi since last year.
In an effort to bolster regional stability, President Salva Kiir Mayardit and Kenya's President William Samoei Ruto have directed the mediation team to convene and resolve any outstanding issues within 2 weeks.
The heads of state agreed to secure regional endorsement of the Tumaini initiative and to urge IGAD to mobilize resources and goodwill of the international community, including the Troika and other countries, to enable full implementation of the initiative. On bilateral relations, Their Excellencies noted that Kenya and South Sudan share strong historical ties built on fraternal bonds and are committed to bolstering these bilateral relations. In this regard, they agreed on the convening of the second session of the Joint Commission for Cooperation, JCC, hosted by South Sudan, to review the progress made on agreed areas of cooperation. On infrastructure, and particularly the construction of the 11-kilometer Nandapal to Nakadok road, the two heads of state noted that it is a vital cross-border infrastructure, crucial for enhancing trade and movement between our two countries. The road will not only benefit our economies, but also strengthen the ties between our two countries. It was noted that Kenya had secured World Bank financing facility, which was set to expire on the 8th of November 2024. In order to avoid the lapse, the two heads of state directed the ministers responsible for roads to undertake discussions immediately with the World Bank Regional Office in Nairobi and to agree on the way forward.
South Sudan's Minister of Presidential Affairs, Chol Mauta Jongo, stated that the discussions also focus on furthering bilateral relations between Juba and Nairobi. He added that both leaders acknowledged the successful signing of 9 protocols, which have now been initialed.
His Excellency William Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya, made an official visit to South Sudan, during which the two head of states held high-level bilateral discussions in Juba on the 6th of November 2024. The discussion focused on bilateral issues of mutual interest. This discussion was also held in a friendly atmosphere, during which the two presidents recalled the deep historical bonds of friendship. His Excellency, President of the Republic of Kenya, was honored to host a negotiation between the Artigono and Whole South Group with the Arts Access Peace Agreement. The two head of states commended the constructive dialogue among the diverse parties to initiate towards a tangible outcome. Their Excellencies appreciated the parties and had reached an agreement on 9 protocols which have been initial so far.
This meeting underscores the continued commitment of both South Sudan and Kenya to regional peace, cooperation and economic development. Alejandro Lotok, Ssbc News.
We go live to Kuwait City, where Kuwaiti government has pledged millions of dollars to support key sectors in South Sudan, including health, agriculture, humanitarian aid, and road infrastructure. This funding aims to strengthen bilateral ties and bolster the country's development. Projects include the construction and rehabilitation of hospitals like Al-Sabah, as well as major roadworks on the Malakal-Bor-Juba Road. As Gore Anthony reports from Kuwait City, Kuwait has also committed to sending relief supplies for internally displaced persons and refugees from Sudan.
Based on this scenario and its slogan, the government of the state of Kuwait expressed willingness to fund and execute a number of multi-million-dollar projects in South Sudan, ranging from constructions and rehabilitations of hospitals such as Al-Sabah, Malakal, Bor, Juba roads, to fast-track economic development and boost trade, as well as investing in agricultural activities. Following a productive meeting, the chairman of Board of Directors of Kuwait Funds for Arab Economic Development, Walid Al-Bahar, assured the South Sudan delegation headed by Presidential Advisor on National Security Affairs Tut Galwak, along with Ministers of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Ramadan Abdallah, and that of Humanitarian and Disaster Management, Albino Akol, of his government's willingness to contribute to the economic and social development of South Sudan, fulfilling the historic ties that exist between the two states. On humanitarian and humanity grounds, Juba would be expecting the arrival of a number of consignments containing relief assistance comprising of food and non-food items from the state of Kuwait in the coming month, designated for internally displaced persons and refugees that fled the conflict in Sudan. The pledge was made following a constructive meeting held between the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, Albino Akol Atak, and the President of Kuwait Red Crescent Society, Ambassador Khalid Mohammed, in the Kuwait City. The officials discussed in detail the magnitude of the dire humanitarian situations in South Sudan as a result of the flooding and the political turmoil that engulfed Sudan, resulting to massive displacements of millions of people that are now seeking refuge in South Sudan. The delegation, who had a busy schedule, also paid a courtesy call on the Embassy of South Sudan in Kuwait City to inspect the activities of the embassy and the working conditions of the diplomats. South Sudan Ambassador to Kuwait, Awad Al-Karim, gave a detailed report on achievements and the challenges facing the mission while rendering diplomatic duty. The Presidential Advisor on National Security Affairs, Tut Galwak, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Ramadan Abdallah, promised to address some of the challenges and urged the embassy staff to exert effort in strengthening relations with the state of Kuwait. Gore Anthony, Ssbc News, Kuwait City.
Ethiopia's parliament has endorsed more than 700 million financing agreement with South Sudan to fund the construction of the 320-kilometer Pagak-Maiwut Palot Road. The Ethiopian government will provide a commercial loan repayable over 10 years at the 4% annual interest rate. In a joint media statement with Ethiopian Ambassador Nabil Mahdi Abdullahi in Juba, the Minister of Roads and Bridges Simon Mijak confirmed that the South Sudan Roads Authority and Ethiopian Road Administration will lead the implementation of this critical infrastructure project aimed at enhancing connectivity between the two countries. Ambassador Nimbil Mahdi Abdullahi emphasized that the financing agreement marks a significant step in the historic relationship between South Sudan and Ethiopia.
Ministry of Roads and Bridges in September this year requested through the Ministry of Finance for procurement, advanced procurement of a consultant to go on the road so that we have the detailed design and costing of the road, because we have put an assessment of 738 million to be the cost, and the construction will be decided when we get the detail, and hopefully early next year. We are targeting March or April to begin with the construction.
Then this is a good model that benefits the two countries for regional integration, economic connectivity, road connectivity, and at the same time for solving African problem, for giving under the motto of African solution for African problems. I hope other countries will follow this initiative of its first kind, and at the same time it's enhance the investment and the economic relation
of the International Conference on the Great Lakes region on mineral value addition and cross-border trade opens in Juba on Wednesday. The forum is held under the theme, A Harmonized Regional Approach and Cross-Border Trade for the Maximization of Benefits from Mineral Resources and Promotion of Peace and Stability. Speaking at opening session, the Minister of Mining, Martin Gama Abuja, stresses on the importance of the representative of the executive
committed to ensuring that all the necessary ingredients, including the regulatory framework, support value addition efforts in the country. South Sudan
constitutes an opportunity, a link between mineral
resilient cross-border trade within the ICJR member states. As we embark on today's sessions, we must address critical areas where member states face challenges. In many parts of the region,
Mr. Losuba Ludoro Wongo stresses the need to empower traditional leaders to play a crucial role in addressing social.
The Ministry of Federal Affairs feel situated whenever
2011 as amended with regard to its recognition of the traditional leadership and
in South Sudan at different levels of the government. In South Sudan at different levels of the government. Both the counties.
A forum aiming at promoting youth participation in peace processes has concluded in Western Bahr Ghazal State capital Wau. The forum was organized by the National Ministry of Peace Building in collaboration with UN agencies. Ssbc's Cliff John Ochaya reports.
His closing address, the National Minister of Youth and Sports, Dr. Joseph Geng Akech, confirms his ministry is working to empower the youth through capacity building programs to enable them to play a leading role in promoting peace in the country.
Number one priority, that we are going to achieve peace and unity among ourselves. That we must.
State government is coordinating activities with the youth to strengthening youth participation in development and peace projects in the state.
I have told the youth.
Representative of the National Minister of Peace Building says the ministry's priorities include building and supporting peace initiatives across the country.
We want to ensure that
the state-elected chairperson of the Youth Peace Forum in Western Bahr Ghazal State, Peter Anthony, pledged to support the government in the search for sustainable peace and peaceful coexistence in the state.
We, the young people of this state, stand for peace and will make this platform an instrument of promoting peace in our society.
Western Bahr Ghazal State Youth Peace Forum concludes with electing a chairperson for the forum in the state before the launch of the National Youth Forum for Peace with support from various organizations in the country. Cliff John Oshaya, Ssbc.
We now cross to New York, where the UN Security Council convened to address the escalating humanitarian crisis in Abyei, fueled by the ongoing conflict in Sudan, which has displaced millions, with some seeking refuge in neighboring countries, including South Sudan. The United Nations Interim Security Force for Abyei, UNISFA, reported that the conflict in Sudan has severely disrupted peacekeeping and humanitarian efforts, heightening insecurity and the risk of a humanitarian crisis in the region. In response, South Sudan's permanent...
Thank you, Mr. President. And South Sudan welcomes the opportunity to address the Security Council regarding the report of the Secretary General on the situation in Abyei. We thank the Council for their continued support for the region. Since 2011, UNESFA and the JBVMM have played indispensable roles in conducting monitoring and verification activities, easing tensions, and facilitating conditions for constructive dialogue. South Sudan reaffirms its commitment to collaborating with United Nations, the neighboring Sudan, to support the mandate of UNESFA and the vital role of the JBVMM. We recognize that UN's continued presence in Abyei contributes significantly to safeguarding communities and reducing intercommunal tensions. The mission's efforts have been impacted by the recent floods, food insecurity, and an influx of returnees and displaced persons from Sudan conditions under such difficult conditions. And we emphasize that their work is essential to stabilizing the safety of the communities involved. The deployment of South Sudan security personnel has been a temporary measure in neutralization status of the region. Finally, South Sudan supports the strategic review of UNESFA's mandate to ensure it aligns with current political and security realities in Abyei. We are confident that re-collaborated mandate developed in consultations with all relevant parties would enhance the mission's effectiveness and ensure that prospective actions in the days ahead. I thank you for your kind attention.
I thank the representative of South Sudan for their statement. There are no more names inscribed on the list of speakers.
In a decisive effort to restore peace in Ural County of Jonglei State, Governor Mahjoub Biel-Turuk has dispatched a peace delegation to the area to reconcile Chairpuel existence in the state. The Commissioner of Ural County, James Bol Makwe, also addressed the media.
هذا الصباح وصلنا في نيرول بدور الكبير اللي هو الكوميشنر بتاعنا جيمس بول ماكوي وكل كوميونتي بتاعنا يوث شباب سلاطين ونقول مبروك اكثر لقوات بتاعنا قوات دفاع جنوب الفيمور.
Sergeants of cattle raiding has claimed the lives of more than 23 people and injured many others last evening. The governors of Central Equatoria and Jonglei states, along with the Pibor chief administrator, have rushed to the scene to identify those involved in the incident. Addressing the media, Governor Agustino Jadalawani of Central Equatoria State called for calm as authorities work to hold the perpetrators accountable and bring justice to the victims. Governor of Jonglei State, Mahjoub Biel-Turuk, urged the communities of Jonglei and Pibor to end communal conflicts and live together in peace as one people of the Upper Nile region. Chief Administrator of the Pibor Administrative Area, Gola Boyoy Gola, vowed to pursue the culprits and ensure they face justice. We now go to Upper Nile State, where authorities have launched renovation of Malakal Akoka Paloch Road. Speaking at the launch, Governor James Odok Uyai appreciates the United Nations mission in South Sudan for supporting developmental projects. The governor described the road as crucial in facilitating the movement of people and goods in the region. The State Minister of Roads and Bridges, Jaje Yen Jaje, has affirmed the ministry's commitment to improving road infrastructure to ensure smooth flow of services. South Sudan Women Advocates Association has embarked on campaigns to end child marriage, addressing a campaign at Sadaka Basic School in Juba, other parts of the country, to fight harmful traditional practices that deny the girls' rights to education. Speaking on behalf of the school, Adil Ebeid Ali encourages students to stick to campaign as a positive step in encouraging girls to pursue their dreams. The 4th Arab African Youth Forum has concluded in Algeria. The forum, organized by Algeria High Council of Youth in collaboration with the African Union, aims to promote youth employment and empowering African youth. The forum seeks to empower 300 million young people in Africa and provide job opportunities to end youth unemployment by 2030. A delegation of South Sudanese youth participated in the forum in the Algerian capital, Oran. The president of the Algeria High Council for Youth, Mustafa Haidawi, emphasizes the need to support South Sudan in its efforts in finding a solution to the Sudanese crisis. And that finally brings us to the end of our news hour. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Awut Polnang. Till next time.